Accra Diocese Methodist Youth Fellowship encourages members to take leadership roles in the society. Speaking at the event was the chairman of the Methodist Youth Fellowship in Accra Diocese, Sister Gloria Culture Glover, as admonishing members of the fellowship to aspire for leadership position in the society. She made this statement at the 18th Biennial Delegate Conferences of the Accra Diocese of the Methodist Youth Fellowship, which was held under the theme Discipleship Living the Transformed Life in Jesus Christ.
This is our 18th Biennial Delegates Conference. Conferences are held every other year to account for what we have done for the past 2 years and also strategize for the future as Youth Fellowship of the Methodist Church Ghana. We would want to assess our challenges, have proposed solutions for the future on our challenges, and improve upon how we take up leadership roles in the church and in the society at large. Encourage our members to actively participate in politics, but in the godly way, not of the world. Yes, we encourage them to take up leadership roles wherever they find themselves in any organization in the society. Our theme was discipleship, living the transformed life through Jesus Christ. And our keynote address was presented to us by our Right Reverend Bolabi Bote. He encouraged us to live a Christ-like life. He encouraged us to take up leadership roles wherever we find ourselves. This is our theme for this conference, increasing our numbers. For people who haven't been active in the fellowship, we are going to use this medium to discuss on how we can create awareness and revive them to be active members and also win more souls for Christ. Even if we have the fear of God, we won't be doing certain things. And all the people we find in our government agencies, if they are not in the church, they are in the mosque. Very few are neither in the church nor mosque. So please, as Christians, let us live godly lives. If we fear God, there are so many things that we do, we wouldn't be doing them. We are encouraging the youth to also man up, speak when wrong things are done, and comment when right things are done. So please, as leaders, let's do the right things so that the youth will emulate whatever they are seeing. If they see the wrong, the likelihood of continuing the wrong will be high. But if they see the right thing, our society can change to be better. There is a delegates conference. We have 140 registered delegates, with officers being inclusive. We have about 160 members on field.
The Bishop of the Accra Diocese of the Methodist Church Ghana was there to grace the occasion.
Well, today we've had the formal opening of the 18th Biennial Delegates Conference of the Methodist Youth Fellowship in the Accra Diocese. The conference is following the theme, which is the general theme for the church: discipleship, living the transformed life in Jesus Christ. So we have encouraged our young people to ensure that they allow the Spirit of Christ to rule in them, so that everywhere, in their workplace, in their families, they will be able to live as witnesses for Jesus Christ, testifying to their life of holiness and righteousness to which Christ has called us. Our lives as young people in the church should be an example to the world, encouraging them to, where they see evil in the world, to encourage people to refrain from it and encourage people to live that life which we are called holiness and righteousness. So we are praying that they will go over from the conference energized to live the life of Christ out there in the world, in their workplaces, to uphold the right moral standards. We discuss issues concerning the craze for wealth. Evidence is so much attention being paid to the betting, gambling thing in our country. And so many young people seem to want to make a living out of betting. Let's aim rather at engaging in productive activity that will impact the economy positively. So we are praying that our young people go from the conference encouraged to go and make an impact in the society, wherever they find themselves, in their families, in their workplaces, in their communities. So we'll help in the moral transformation of our society. see less evil and see more ethical living in our country. There's been concerns about the push from the West for promoting homosexual and lesbian lives. Clearly, for us Christians in the South, we do not think that the Bible encourages this. And so we want to encourage our young people not to buy into that craze, because some of us think that it is a Western agenda, which is an indirect way of family planning and trying to control population growth. It's not doing well for them in the West, and if we buy into it, it will not do well for us, because now in many Western countries they are having to import labor because there's a crisis, and so we should not get our people to buy into this. It does not mean that we then are looking for wrongdoers and trying to pin them down. No, nobody is against lesbians. They should live their private life. But to promote it as a kind of way of life, it will be a disservice to our nation and the African continent as a whole. So we want to encourage our young people that they should not buy into this new craze being promoted by the West. It is not helpful. For us as Christians, we have a resource that God has given us, who is the Holy Spirit. And that is what we want to encourage leaders to ask members to pray for, that grace of the empowerment of the Holy Spirit. Because without Him, trying to live to do the right on our own, in our own strength, it will not work. But also, offering right example wherever in our communities. Ethical living also means responsible living. Making sure that we are not part of those who are degrading the environment. Environmental degradation is a huge challenge. So leaders, wherever you find yourself in your communities, in our churches, families, let's try to educate ourselves for responsible living. Responsible living means let's keep our environment clean. Let's be each other's keeper. Let's make sure that we don't pollute our rivers, our streams, and so on. So especially in places where people are going into our forests and destroying, let members of the community take responsibility and talk to their friends, their neighbors, and discourage them from making the search for riches their only goal. They should think of the consequences for the whole community. So let's be each other's keeper. Let's watch over each other. Be bold to confront evil doing, and let's correct the wrongs in our society so that we will all keep the environment for our well-being and for the future good of the country. I mean, there are allegations that some of the galamsey and the release of inimical chemicals into our rivers and into the soils is having an impact even on unborn children, and we are having more children being born with congenital deformities. So let's watch it. Reckless exploitation of our resources is not in our interest. Let's do responsible mining. Let's keep the environment safe for all of us, our rivers, our streams, so that we can get good water to drink. God bless us all.